Hey everybody, Marcel Ernie Racing News, July 11th, 2023. Holy crap! Quebec, publication of Quebec under their health code updated April 1st, 2023. Thankfully to someone in the comments on my latest YouTube video regarding Christine Anderson talking about the WHO, the World Health Organization's World Global Pandemic Treaty, but the WHO's vaccine passport requirement for everybody in the world who wants to travel to have a vaccine status on their passport. And this brought up the mention about this already exists in Quebec, the freaking province of Canada, the French-speaking province of Canada, Quebec has thrown this in there secretly, and I never noticed the news. I never saw anybody talk about this, but mandatory vaccines in any state of emergency declared by these Quebec fools, these oligarchy fools of Quebec, and legislation following the WEF probably and the WHO. So let's scroll in the Public Health Act chapter. We're going to go right to 123 to start, guys. And this is scary stuff. Here it is. Let me zoom in for you guys if you want to read it with me. And bam. The 123. Notwithstanding any provision to the contrary, while the public health emergency is in effect, the government or the minister, if he or she has been so empowered, may, without delay and without further formality, to protect the health of the population. Now, let's just think about while the public health emergency is in effect. There's no prerequisite for making or declaring a public health emergency. They can put it in there anytime they really choose with any false flag, and then they can keep renewing it. We saw this already. So number one, order compulsory vaccination of the entire population or any part of it against smallpox or any other contagious disease seriously threatening the health of the population, and, if necessary, prepare a list of persons or groups who require priority vaccination. Wow, we should all be very afraid of this freaking line, this sentence, guys. Any other contagious disease seriously threatening the health of the population. And we already know there is no prerequisite for what a serious disease or what is seriously threatening the health of the population or a population. And what gets even worse, a list of persons or groups who require priority vaccination. So they're going to try to arrest me and hold me down, or you guys hold us down on these tables when we're kicking and screaming like kids, fighting for our lives to prevent them from stabbing us with a supposed poison against our will. Can you imagine this? How crazy this will be? If I was arrested and handcuffed to a table and forced an injection against my will, I would kill anybody around me who's doing this to me. I would kill to get away and save my life from this possibly injection of death, disease, cancer, all sorts of problems for your future. They are giving you a death sentence with this thing. So you would fight to the death. I would fight to the death to prevent this from happening. This is serious stuff, guys. Very serious. Holy crap. Number two, order the closing of educational institutions or of any other place of assembly. Number three, order any person, government department, or body to communicate or give the government or the ministry immediate access to any document or information held, even personal or confidential information or confidential document. Wow, it keeps going. You have no privacies when there is a declared emergency by the minister, the he, she, it, they, or whom. And it continues. This is a scary document. Quebec, you guys are so messed up. These ministries of Quebec, these people. Who are these people? Number four, prohibit entry into all or part of the area concerned, or allow access to an area only to certain persons, not us, only certain persons, and subject to certain conditions, or order for the time necessary where there is no other means of protection, the evaluation of persons from all or any part of the area or their confinement, and if the persons affected have no other resources, provide for their lodging, feeding, clothing, and security needs. So to break that down, it's certain persons are allowed access to an area, and people who aren't allowed access to an area will maybe subject to certain conditions or orders or other means of protection. Oh, you got to save me from the eagle, the 13 monkeys, from any part of an area, or confinement, so they could lock you up, they could confine you, and then, well, we're going to provide you with lodging, feeding, and clothing security needs because we're locking you in a prison and forcing injections on you, right back to torture. And, well, we got to build these prisons. So number 5, order the construction of any work or installation of sanitary facilities or the provision of health and social services. We're going to build prisons, hospitals, whatever we want. Forced labor. Number 6, require the assistance of any government department or body capable of assisting the personnel deployed. So we're going to employ government people. We're going to employ the army. We're going to get police. We're going to get independent security guards, the commissioners, to incur these penalties and force this on you. They're going to force you on the table and inject you guys with an experimental drug. Number 7, incur such expenses and entry into such contracts as are considered necessary. We're going to contract people to build these prisons, build these injections, forced labor, forced police force. That's what I see. 8, order any other measure necessary to protect the health of the population. Wow, that is super open-ended. Any order, any measure necessary to protect the health of the population. And again, there is no prerequisite for what is to protect, what is protection, and what is the health of the population, and who decides what is the healthy way and the other way. The government, the minister, or any other person may not be prosecuted by reason of act performed in good faith in or in relation to the exercises of these powers. So the police, the security, the people may not be prosecuted by reason of an act performed in good faith in relation to the exercises of these powers that they force upon you. Oh my God, this is really a piss off. And back to the YouTube comments by Unofficial Observer. 7 minutes ago, compulsory vaccination law in Quebec for all population with provision to use force. He's mentioning exactly what I just said. They can hire forces, give people power to use force, and they cannot be prosecuted for doing that force under that order. Quebec already passed the forced mandatory vaccination for all of the population. Oh my God, look what Quebec slipped in quietly under Quebec Public Health Act, Public Health Emergency. Again, 123, what I just read. And now we're going to move on to 126 as per this suggestion. This is wild. This is so wild. But before we get to 126, let's look at 125 because it's related to 123, where compulsory vaccination is ordered. Compulsory vaccination, this just pisses me off, is ordered under Section 123. The minister shall make the necessary vaccines available and ensure that the required health services are offered. Yeah, we need to have those vaccines. Guys, if you're in Quebec right now and you're listening to this, get the hell out of Quebec. Everybody who cares about their medical autonomy, their bodily autonomy, who sees what the narrative is, get the hell out of Quebec. Quebec is done for. It is over. It's gone. Get the fuck out of Quebec, guys. It is piece of shit Quebec under this ministry now. Sorry, I'm getting all upbeat here. The ministry shall bear the costs related to the dispensing of the health services that are required for the vaccination to be administered where applicable and costs required for these. Okay, guys, on to 126. If a person fails to submit to a vaccination order, so Marcel, you are ordered, you're going to be arrested, you're going to be forced vaccination, and we're not even, they call them vaccination. We're going to be forced injected with our testing of our subjects. You are a subject forced testing with this medical experiment. Just like back to the day, guys. Just like in all of history, nobody has learned. The Nuremberg Code. If a person fails to submit to a vaccination ordered under Section 123, a judge of the Court of Quebec or the municipal courts of the city of Montreal, Laval, or Quebec having jurisdiction in the locality where the person is to be found may order the person to submit to the vaccination. Not on my watch, you assholes. Not on my watch. I will fight you to the death. In addition, the judge may, if satisfied on reasonable grounds that the person will not submit to the vaccination, and if of the opinion that the protection of health warrants it, order the person to be taken to a specific place to be vaccinated. Just like I said, dude, they are going to lock you up, pin you down, and force injection you. Get the hell out of Quebec, guys. This is Ernie Racing News. Maybe we should read a little more. And I'm just jumping ahead to 128. The government may terminate the public health emergency as soon as we consider that it's no longer necessary. So there is no actual rules attached to this that I've read so far. A notice must be published and disseminated by the most efficient means available to ensure that the population concerned is rapidly informed, with mainstream media paid for, owned by the governments. Moreover, the decision must be published in the Gazette Official de Quebec. Get the fuck out of Quebec, guys. Ernie Racing News. Run for it.